Welcome to another edition of the Agricultural Biotechnology Program, where the focus is on the significance of biotechnology to agricultural development in Nigeria. I am Lara Afolayan. Last week on the program, we saw how the Bacillus thuringiensis gene, also known as the BT gene, could make a difference in the cowpea crop through effective resistance to the pod borer, also known as the Maruca vitrata, a major threat to cowpea farming in this part of the world. Today on the program, we will continue our assessment of the BT cowpea variety as a Nigerian seed dealer and farmer who has witnessed firsthand the confined field trials of the BT cowpea in parts of Nigeria, shares his thoughts with us on this variety. But now we take a look at some agricultural biotechnology stories. The African Development Bank is championing a new regional and global effort to transform the African savanna from a sleeping giant to the cradle of the continent's green evolution. The bank's Vice President for Agriculture, Human and Social Development, Jennifer Blank, at the 2018 World Food Prize side event recently held in the United States, described Africa's nearly 400 million hectares of savanna zones as the world's largest agricultural frontier. She adds that if a small fraction of the continent's 16 million hectares of cultivable land is transformed, it could well set it up to decrease dependence on food imports, allow it to feed itself, and contributing to feeding the world. Africa is host to 60% of the world's uncultivated arable land, but currently spends an estimated $35 billion annually on food imports. This figure is projected to shoot up to $110 billion by the year 2025. Agriculture experts say the continent is importing what it should actually be producing, and this includes 22 million metric tons of maize, 2 million metric tons of soybeans, 1 million metric tons of broiler meat, and 10 million metric tons of milk products each year. The Ethiopian government is counting on agricultural biotechnology to sustain national economic growth. The country's state's Minister of Science and Innovation, Shumete Gizo, says government has reaffirmed its commitment to poverty reduction through policies that support biotechnology research and innovation. He noted government's concern over the poor state of food security in the country due to the effects of climate change. Ethiopia's food production has severely been affected by rainfall variability, extended drought, crop failure and famine, and its government believes that agri-biotechnology can help combat the effects of climate change on its food system. The country has already launched a communication strategy for its Biotechnology Institute, which has an overarching goal of improving the knowledge and awareness in biotechnology and biosafety among stakeholders nationally. It is also targeted at enabling members of the public make informed decisions about appropriate use of biotechnology by providing accurate information about the benefits, risks, and impacts of crop biotechnology in a timely manner. Stakeholders in the Nigerian biotechnology space have met in Abuja on the sidelines of ongoing confined field trials of the BT cowpea in parts of the country. The event was the PBR Cowpea Stewardship and Commercialization Workshop for Nigeria. Agribiotech was there. Confined field trials on Maruca-resistant cowpea have been conducted annually in Nigeria since 2009. This is a collaborative effort of the African Agricultural Technology Foundation (ATF) and public-private organizations to develop the farmer-preferred, locally adapted pod borer resistant cowpea variety in Nigeria. The deployment of these technologies in target smallholder farming communities is to cut down on insect damage caused by the Maruca vitrata or pod borer insect. This is to in turn boost yields and push up incomes for farmers.
We have been developing the pod borer resistant cowpea since 2009. in Nigeria, and we've achieved tremendous success. And right now, we have been able to gather all the scientific evidence and data to show that this technology is working. Cowpea farmers in Nigeria, when we're talking about cowpea, we're talking about beans that we eat. Farmers go through a lot to produce these beans. And one of the major challenges they have is insects that eat up the beans in the farm. There's this insect called pod borer. They usually attack the flowers, and once they attack eat the flowers are bought. And you know, if the flower does not develop, the pod cannot develop, and you cannot have your grain or your seed. You know, so this is a major problem that farmers go through. Now, with this technology that has been developed, farmers will no longer be, the insects will no longer be able to eat up the flowers and the pods, you know, of the beans. So what you plant is what you get.
What it means for the Nigerian farming industry, it means more yields, of course, very strong yields, good harvestable yields, because farming is all about yields. Because if you don't have yield, you've lost it. Because it's actually the yield that has a multiplying effect. The yield gives the farmer profits. You know, it gives him power. Because if you have high yields, of course, your profit margin goes high, and then the quality of your products, because this technology does not only give yield, but it also gives quality, you know, in terms of this insect resistance and all, because the insects actually cause a lot of damage and losses and all. But even, you know, aside from the losses, it affects the quality of your own produce. The quality of the beans will be affected.
At this Cowpea forum, stakeholders are now meeting and promoting good stewardship for BT Cowpea Nigeria ahead of its approval for commercial release.
There's been a lot of sensitization. We've received a lot of information on the processes that are left, on the variety itself, the fact that, you know, it will drastically reduce the number of sprays that farmers have to do, and also on the yields potential and benefits of it, that there's a 5-fold increase above our conventional maize and cowpea. So I guess, you know, that's a good place to start. If you've been following the trend, cowpea prices have been increasing steadily in Nigeria for the past 2 or so years. Last year it really peaked, and cowpea was going for as much as 40,000 a bag of cowpea, which is the highest we've had in a long time. And all this is a result of farmers having a bad harvest with their cowpea. So if you grow a crop and at the end of the day you get very little, what happens is that then you have supply and demand issues, that at the end of the day the farmers are not able to bring out as much as they would usually do because of the maruca infestation. So this is a good sign. The fact that also that we get to use a variety that is insect resistant, and the farmers will spray less, so there's health. So I'm taking away a lot of optimism and hope for farming in Nigeria generally, that this is a step in the right direction, that if we can get BT cowpea commercialized, then we can get maize and then rice and so on. There's so many advancements that have gone on in the biotech industry that we need in Nigeria.
That reduction in chemical use means reduction in the money they are going to put in buying chemicals. So it actually means a lot to the farmer. The farmer will be empowered, the farmer will make money, the farmer will be in business. The farmer, you know, will be out of the subsistence farming that he's been enslaved to. And so on a small piece of land, he'll be able to do a lot, to produce a lot. That is actually what matters. What matters is the yield. Because we're losing our land to desert encroachment, we're losing it to gully erosion, we're losing it to flood disasters, we're losing our land to oil spillage in Nigeria. So we have a lot of challenges. The climate change, the rise in temperature, it's not making matters. Making matters easy. So with this technology in place, of course, the farmer stands a lot to benefit, and then to make life comfortable for himself, because the technology is actually supposed to play a complementary role to the conventional agriculture that we are used to, that we practice. It's not to take over the conventional, it's actually to play complementary role. Where the conventional fails, this technology fills in.
The participants here all agree that the technology driving the BT Cowpea needs good stewardship, and this means training of seed companies on establishing priority-based quality management systems to ensure the seeds meet seed quality and purity standards. They also believe farmers need to use crops from such technologies sustainably, ensuring long-term durability through a simple and easily adaptable insect-resistant management strategy. And next on the program, a seed dealer and farmer, Awal Balarabe, shares his thoughts with us on the BT Cowpea variety.
The major challenge is Maruca infestations. It is dealing so much havoc on our farmers to the extent that you hardly find any farmer who will dedicate 1 hectare to produce, to plant cowpea as a monocrop, because he is afraid when the infestation comes, you could lose everything. So what our people do, they always go on multiple cropping. They plant their maize and then they plant cowpea inside, or they are sorghum and then they are cowpea, or they are millet and then with cowpea, so that even if the Maruca comes, at least they will salvage something from the other crop. It's a serious threat, and this explains why, despite the fact that we are the largest producers of cowpea and the highest consumers, we are unable to meet the national demand. Go into extensive spraying with all sorts of chemicals. Chemicals coming in from China, coming in from India, coming in from Europe, from anywhere we can lay our hands on. And in a season, you find some farmers spraying 10 times. And the cost of these chemicals are high, not to talk of the dangers associated by exposing the human beings to the toxic effects of these chemicals, and the plants even, and the soil too. Of course, if you know, there is a question of multiplication. The one who is doing 1 acre, when you take it to 5 hectares, the loss increases. But then, remember I told you, nobody takes the risk of planting cowpea as a monocrop. It must always be with another crop. So the profit from the sorghum or from the maize limits the effects of the loss. So beautiful. It was so beautiful. You see the whole field where he did the BT cowpea, no infestation, zero infestations. Very greenish, clean pods, very nice. And you could easily see the contrast in the next plot where conventional cowpea was planted. A lot of Maruca activity, it was weathered, it was very ugly to look at. Honestly, I'm excited because once this one comes on board, many farmers will start massive production of cowpea. Massive production of cowpea means more jobs for our youth. There is no earthly reason why any Nigerian should be unemployed. No reason. Because with improved varieties comes less spraying. Also, we are told. Because all these are serious advances by scientists, which we believed, because we have seen the effect. I was in Minjibur, courtesy of Professor Isaac Mohammed. He took us to Minjibur, he showed us his trial fields. We saw visibly the BT cowpea he produced alongside the conventional one, and we saw the difference. So we are all excited. And we are positive that this one will bring, because using that, you spray maybe just twice. And that's all. So you could imagine the cost. And once our farmers are convinced with the efficacy of this BT cowpea, that's the end of it. Nigeria will, by the grace of God, becomes a net exporter. We will stop smuggling of cowpea as we are doing now. You see, what we normally do to encourage farmers under this kind of situation is to engage a whole community. I have already an established communities where many seeds have presence. Over the years, we have built confidence. They believe in us because they have tested us and they have tried us. They have seen the varieties that we have introduced to them. They know how much it impacted on their livelihood. So by the time we go with this technology and tell them, look, this is it. And the highest person in the community mostly is smallholder farmers. 1 acre, highest 1 hectare. And maybe Mena Seed has 10 hectares there. So they see me planting 10 hectares. So if there is a loss, Mena Seeds will be the biggest loser. They know that. And the way they see me do that, they will follow suit. And I'm hopeful once the past year they see the yields that they have, and that they didn't have to spend much on spraying. And they see what we do, that we are working together. And of course, from support from our scientists, the various scientists that come and give lectures and give support. Inshallah, it will be a same of the past. Farmers will take it up, and Nigeria will stop smuggling cowpea. As businessmen, anything that will maximize our profit is what we go for. So we also have all the same peers as the farmers. So with this technology coming up, I can put 10 hectares outright and plant. For the farmer is one way of convincing the farmers that what we are saying is the truth. Otherwise, they know how much I will pay in cultivating 10 hectares. And then they see it as a monocrop. I just plant cowpea, we will work with them, we will always work with them. They will see it, they will be there when we plant, they will be there when we do the land preparation, they will be there when we do every activity we do with them, and they will be there when we harvest. They will be there when we thrash. They will be the people to bag it for us. They will see how much yield we have. We have to learn to respect our scientists. And this is a technology that is coming all over the world. Why should we be left behind? The aeroplane technology came. We are benefiting from it. We fly from Abuja here in 45 minutes. I'm in Kano. Somebody goes by car, it takes him 5-6 hours. There was a time when it takes 10 hours from Kano to Abuja. But with that technology, see how fast it is. So it's the same thing with this. These scientists that are working on these technologies are people well trusted. Professor Isiaku is highly trusted in this country. He is well known to farmers, particularly in the northern Nigeria. We have to learn to trust him. They have no reason to come and tell the Nigerian farmers otherwise. AATF that they are doing this good job have no reason to come and deceive Nigerian farmers. Or look at all the people involved. Very highly doctors, professors, responsible people, all trying to help uplift the living standard of the Nigerian farmer. The least the Nigerian farmer will do to say thank you is to believe in them and to believe that this thing is coming for his good. Talking of farmers in Nigeria and by extension in the West African continent, you see, the world is moving, and with every day comes development. You move from point A to point B, and some people don't like changes. All those people going against anti-GMO said, what are their reasons? They have not been able, they are using blind sentiments. They are using selfish sentiments. But nobody has come up with one good reason why it should not be. Number one. Number two, we have a country. In this country, we have all sorts of manners of people in places to make sure that Nigerians are given the right thing. They go through, these things go through all sorts of tests. And all these authorities said this is okay. And how can somebody, your government says this is all right, and then somebody comes on the pages of newspapers and tell you, no, don't take it because it has this, it has this, it has this. And he has no proof whatsoever.
And on feedback, I take this email from Aderemi Balogun, who wants to know more about biotechnology. The Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology offer as a response to that. And at this point, we call it a day on today's program. Send your emails to agribiotech1@yahoo.com. Send us tweets at agribiotech13 or post comments on the Facebook page Agribiotech on TVC. I am Lara Afolayan. See you next time.